Tasmania has come a long way in these past few years. There's a new era of prosperity, new economic growth, increased business activity and a new confidence. We're building new irrigation schemes and we're upgrading our fishing ports. There's a new international airport being built at Hobart and a $50 million international hotel. There are exciting sporting venues under construction and many more planned. Record funds are being spent on new roads, new buildings and new power schemes to ensure that we continue to provide the cheapest and most economical sources of power. Tasmania has led the rest of Australia in economic recovery, in new building approvals, in new motor vehicle registrations, in retail sales. And we also have the lowest level of state taxes and charges in Australia and a low level of inflation. Perhaps the most satisfying achievement of the government has been the establishment of the Tasmanian Development Authority as the new force in Tasmania. Based on private enterprise lines, it has a board of successful businessmen. It is unlike any other government authority. It has already helped many Tasmanians into their own businesses, helped others expand and even saved some from ruin. And the authority has attracted new million-dollar industries to Tasmania. A New Zealand clothing manufacturer has established operations near Launceston, and a Brisbane computer company has relocated to Hobart. The Tasmanian Government and the Tasmanian Development Authority are achieving results. Together we've set the climate for investment, for businesses to expand, find new markets and new opportunities, and the business community is responding. Over the next few years, over $200 million will be invested by the private sector in Tasmania. There are numerous success stories, and you could be one of them.
Here's the early morning news. There's good news on Tasmania's business front. A Brisbane computer firm has announced it will relocate to Hobart, and a Tasmanian furniture factory has been brought back into local control. The move by the computer company, HRC Holdings, will involve the injection of millions of dollars into Tasmania's economy, as well as the creation of new jobs. The furniture factory, Namco at Cambridge, has been bought by its general manager, Mr. David Payton, for an undisclosed sum, and new jobs are also likely. Both firms have been helped by the Tasmanian Development Authority.
Tasmania may be small in size and population, but not when it comes to resources and opportunities for developing the state's wealth. Tasmania's image of being the Apple Isle is long gone. Emphasis now is on development in many areas, in forestry, horticulture, fishing and mining, in a revitalised tourism and convention industry, in agriculture and dairying, and in skilled and high-tech industries. The economic stagnation of the past has been replaced by new investor confidence, by growth and business progress. Industries are upgrading and expanding plant machinery and operations, and employment is growing. Because of Tasmania's size and relative isolation, it's often overlooked that for years the state has been Australia's highest per capita export earner and has led recovery in many areas. Tasmania is Australia's largest producer of newsprint and frozen vegetables. We produce 2/3 of Australia's total woodchip exports. We're also Australia's major producer of tin, zinc, pigment, ferroalloys, butter, cheese, malted milk, apples and potatoes. But to take advantage of present-day economic realities, it's vital to understand what's happening both here and overseas. The world is going through a period of fierce international competition for products and markets. There are more industrialised countries than ever before. At the same time, labour, raw materials and the cost of processing is vastly more expensive, and the world is going through a technological revolution. The key to survival in such a scenario is increased productivity, and to make a business both viable and productive, there are 4 vital considerations: streamlining the methods of operation, expanding the range of products and services, diversifying into new products and resources, and most important of all, exploring new markets. All these considerations have been achieved here in Tasmania by Tasmanian companies making Tasmanian products and competing overseas. The range of products and companies is wide, but they all have several things in common: originality, excellence of quality, and an aggressive commitment to succeed.
The firm was started by my father. In effect, it's almost a hobby that got out of hand. He built an antenna for his own boat and had a number of people approach him to make antennas for their boats, and then a large Australian company asked him to make them for them so that they could use them not only with their own transceivers but export them overseas. So his hobby really did get out of hand. Basically what's happened is that the company grew from his home workshop come garage to myself coming back to the state, having had some commercial experience, being able to get the company really going as far as marketing went, giving a bit of time through two directors in the company being able to develop new products. Two different sections there, and it gives us a wide range of areas. We can use the same base section and just change the tops if need. The real selling point, I think, about Moonraker antennas is that they work better than anyone else's. The reason they do that is that we attempt always to make the best quality product that we can possibly do, not only mechanically in the way it's made, but using proper textbook principles and not taking shortcuts in the way we make the actual antennas as far as their electrical design goes. I guess they'll test it when they get it, because these things are always subject to that. But I don't see any real problems with it.
How many actual units?
In the future, I think the TDA can help us mainly by changing the attitude of a lot of Tasmanian businessmen, particularly in the manufacturing, the small manufacturing side, and changing their attitude to prove to them that they can make a good product. It's very hard to convince them that they've got to upgrade their technology and upgrade their product and make good products all the time, not just the first one or two. The next 100's got to be exactly the same. That's the statistical sort of analysis of it, yes, the results.
Westland Nurseries over the last 30 years of our existence has always had an attitude of positive thinking, positive looking for new products, and research and development we found has been a very important development in our company structure. And to this degree we've travelled around the country and around the world to always look for new products and introduce these onto the Tasmanian market, or further afield, the Australian market. We've now taken that one step further and started selling in New Zealand and into other countries. We've had to find new methods of propagation to get this sort of numbers up. And back in 1976 we moved into tissue culture with a positive attitude of trying to solve some homegrown problems. Well, the homegrown problems we solved within a few months, and then we sort of dawned upon us that this had bigger possibilities than we originally thought. And from there on we've gone into tissue culture in a massive way, and now are one of the major laboratories in this country. And just recently we've tied up a deal with New Zealand with a new cut flower variety, and this will all be done by tissue culture, and we're looking into the future with very positive response from this particular varieties of plants.
Christmas 1975, my brother and myself were talking about problems with overweight log trucks, etc., and problems of guessing the loads. And he'd asked the question, well, haven't they got scales on like they are in the States? And June 1976, we fitted the first set of scales up. It was the first set fitted outside the United States and Canada. And we found by cutting up other people's equipment to be able to fit scales in, you could see there was a lot of room for improvement. Also, we went to other Jinka builders to ask them if they'd build their trailers to suit scales, and no one seemed to be really interested in it. So we decided then to design our own trailer to suit scales, and this all happened by about August 77. I think we put our first complete rig on the road. We also have initiated a lot of new ideas, for instance, making trailers self-loading without any hydraulics or winches, etc., which are used in other parts of the world to load log chinkers onto the back of the truck when they're empty. We went on just developing little things gradually until now we've made a full kit system that'll fit any make or model truck and bolt on. Most of our marketing to date's been done through word of mouth and personally doing some of the fit-up work and make sure that they work properly. And I think that's one of the main things. If you do the job properly and get it working properly, word of mouth advertising is the greatest one. It's natural. In Tribunner at the moment we've got 16 people plus myself, and we have 2 in Launceston in the sales outlet. Really, we had an ambition of being the best in log jinkers, and we'll continue along the line, I think, of trying to build better equipment for log trucks and log trailers. So I think really our future is in having a good product for the logging industry. This new arrangement that we've come up with here, these simple tapered bushes, looks quite simple with that, and it's simple to repair, and we've got a very low cost replacement bush, so I think we ought to stick with that one at the moment. I guess we put a lot of time and effort into making our product simple to use from the trucker point of view, simple to fit the trucks, and interchangeability from one truck to another. Probably around 85% of what we build we can offer off the shelf as replacement parts, and to my knowledge very few other manufacturers can offer that service in the logging industry.
We've got a captive pin, which we call a spalling pin, that can be placed precisely on a rock anywhere you like. And then a varying weight billet of steel is raised to about 13 feet by a hydraulic winch. The weight is then free to fall, where it imparts its kinetic energy through the hardened spalling pin. And the effect on the rock is quite dramatic. It's been put to many uses in various parts. For example, in New Zealand, they used the breaker to break up cast-iron steam locomotives. And also in the United States, there's a tremendous potential for it there in breaking concrete pavements. The United States being such a big market, the only practical way we found was to get American involvement and actually manufacture the breakers in the States. And we have a joint venture company to do that.
Yes, we'll be through to...
Well, I've been a ferry operator using the older style ferry boats that have gone out of popularity around the world for many years, and we're now looking at the wave-piercing development. That's going to be a very major development to the world, actually. It's not a local thing by any means.
Yeah, well, the customer wants to put tables and chairs in, so he wants this theatre-type seating altered to make it restaurant style.
That's going to give us a problem with the number of seats in here.
Yes, he still wants the same
We've
number of seats.
come up with a design which is going to be much better in rougher seas, a design capable of crossing short ocean crossings, Bass Strait, Cook Strait, the English Channel, etc., Hawaiian Islands, you name it. There are 1,000 places where better boats are needed to carry passengers. Now, this is the boat that we believe will get people back out of aeroplanes and back onto the water. The TDA have helped provide finance for the research and development of the wave-piercing catamaran, and they've also been very helpful in getting into the overseas markets and providing finance packages to overseas markets. There are a few potential customers that certainly wouldn't be there without the financial packages that are beyond our capabilities to put together. Now, they've been very good in that regard.
There are many more success stories in Tasmanian industry than the 5 we've concentrated on. Excellence of product and effective marketing can't be written off as random strokes of luck. an extraordinarily wide range of Tasmanian products are exported throughout the world. International competition is tough, but the fact that it exists ensures the whole world is potentially open to product penetration. All it takes is a good idea, a bold approach, and a lot of hard work. But of course, not everyone can do it on their own. And in today's climate, a lot of expertise is needed. Since the establishment of the Tasmanian Development Authority in March 1984, it has been committed to improving the potential of Tasmanian products on the local, interstate and overseas markets. The authority's resources and specialist personnel encourage and foster innovative Tasmanian business enterprises. It provides loans for development, grants for research, financial support and expert advice. It can also help cut red tape and smooth the way to achieve the many government approvals needed in business. It can help get to know international marketing procedures and assist in trade displays.
Philip, Chris Edwards. Oh, good to see you.
Hello, good to see you.
Yes, you look
It'll not only help your business survive, it'll help it grow.
The TDA have been very good to us, and they've given us a loan to allow us to expand on the local scene, on the local market. And we've been able to build a new nursery at 7 Mile Beach to move us from our Lena Valley site so that our production facilities become more efficient.
And the beauty about this is we can cut a lot of cuttings off this particular plant over a short period.
If we had to bring it into the shop and rebush the whole trailer from one end to the other, we look at a day's work, which that's compatible. The TDA, we got involved with them in the development of our tri-beam suspension, and we started into it. We found it was far beyond our resources to be able to develop it, and we approached them, and they give us a grant of $12,800 towards the development of washers where we're turning up in the...
Main item in the Tasmanian Evening News tonight is the announcement that one of the great French champagne houses, Louis Roederer, intends to join Tasmanian producer Heemskirk in the production of a premium quality sparkling wine in Tasmania. This development comes at a time when all economic indicators show that Tasmania's economy is leading the rest of Australia toward recovery. According to the Tasmanian Development Authority, now is the time to invest in Tasmania's future.